All right, so we are done with the 100 push-up challenge for 30 days as well as the 50 pull-up challenge for 30 days. I did it for 30 days straight, like completely straight. So I'm really, really glad that I was able to do it that way. But there were definitely some consequences because I didn't let my body rest. But I'm just gonna do a quick summary right now because this is the day after the challenge finished. So, not the day after, but like the day after the day after. So, I got to rest yesterday for the first time in a very, very long time. I still actually did some push ups and pull ups, but I didn't do as many as the challenge. So, let's first talk about both of them together because I did both of them basically at the same time, literally like back to back. So, whenever I did pull ups, I did push ups. There was a long time ago where I tried to reach 100 push-ups. I got up to around like 68 and 100 push-ups in a row. This isn't that. This is me just doing 100 push-ups throughout the day and 50 pull-ups throughout the day. But back then, when I did that challenge or when I was trying to do that, I hurt myself. And when I visited a physical therapist, they said that I needed to balance push with pull. So that's why I do these two together, because if I keep doing just push-ups without any pulling exercises, then my muscles will become imbalanced and that can lead to injury and stuff like that. So that's why I designed the challenge to be the way it was. And basically, whenever I successfully did a push-up day, I also successfully did a pull-up day. Although that was kind of close to not being true, because in the middle, somewhere around, I gotta check my journal, and not my journal, but like there's a app called Habit, and that's the app that I used to track everything. And I wrote memos for each day. The memos became more and more descriptive and detailed as the challenge moved on, but there was a day where I said I thought about just resting the next day because it's very unhealthy, because my arms and my hands were, not my hands, but like my callus area right here was hurting a lot. You can actually still see it, I think, if it focuses. But right here, I have like internal bleeding, because for pull-ups, if you do a lot, you grip a lot, and to do pull-ups as well, sometimes gripping stronger helps. And I know that's not necessarily what I should have done or focused on, because obviously just because it helps doesn't mean you use it as like a handicap, I guess. But either way, doesn't matter. The challenge is done, and I'm fine basically. But I was slightly worried about this before because it did hurt, but not like intensely, but it hurt like more than, like when I'm pressing now, it feels fine, completely fine. But back then when I pressed, I could feel some slight pain. And same with this hand. The callus here is like curved. I don't know if you can see it with this camera, but there's like a curve to it. It's like going that way, because the bar, whenever I grip the bar, that's the shape of the bar. But yeah, these are my battle scars, I guess, for pull-ups. The pull-ups were significantly harder than push-ups for sure. 50 pull-ups every single day, like, well, firstly, I want to say like this isn't technically this is the 60-day mark, because I did do a 30-day challenge where I tried to do the same thing, the same exact thing for 30 days, and I got 16 out of 30 days. So basically, I failed because that's like a 50% hit rate. But if you think about it, it's actually quite healthy, because 16 out of 30, let's not use 30 because it's kind of confusing. Let's use 28. 16 out of 28. Let's say, so 28 is 4 weeks. So that's 4 out of 7. So that's 4 training days out of the week, which, look at any routine, that's a pretty decent amount of days. So in a way, the first challenge was healthier, but the second challenge was more so just focused on like, oh, can I do this? Can I actually do 30 days in a row? Like, not stop? Is it possible? Because I was thinking, man, I feel like this is not even possible. I feel like doing 100 push-ups every single day for 30 days in a row is just not possible. It's at least for my level as someone like getting back into things. But now I think for the push-ups, just the push-ups, it's pretty doable. It's really doable. Like I could definitely keep doing it for push-ups. But for the first challenge when I did it, I definitely got really sore after like the first few days, and then I would get sore again even after some rest and doing it again. But I do think your mentality changes a lot regarding like whether or not you can or cannot do it, because when I told myself I can, like I'm gonna just try my absolute best and work through any like pain. Luckily, I didn't injure myself at all. Like I always did it in a way that made it, other than the internal bleeding, but that wasn't like a big injury. That's like a very minor injury. But I did it in a way where if I ever felt like I was gonna get injured, like my muscles were tightening up too much or doing something weird, I would basically do it in intervals of very, very tiny intervals. So the smallest set I did for pull-ups was 5. So 5 in a row, rest, 5 in a row, rest. And whenever I did it that way, it was like basically having a rest day, because doing 5 in a row is very easy at this point for me. And for push-ups, doing like 20 in a row is very easy as well. So it's like doing it to the point where my muscles don't really feel it that much, and then letting myself rest and then doing it again, like perhaps sometime later. So spreading it out through the day was very helpful. So that's tip number 1, I guess. And then another thing I feel, well, I just did a body check earlier. Obviously in like 30 to 60 days, 1 to 2 months, it's not going to change that much, but I do feel like stronger. I feel physically more fit. My muscles feel more like tight, I guess. I mean, that's obvious because I'm using it every single day. To the point where this is the unhealthy part. For pull-ups, whenever I do this now, or like right now is okay, but like whenever I wake up or sometimes after doing the pull-ups, I feel a very extreme amount of tightness like right here. Like when I raise my arm especially. Like extreme tightness here, and like my lat area is almost constantly sore. It has been constantly sore for the past like 20 something days. Same with the other side, and then this right here. Just like this weird like feeling that I'm not used to, where when I stretch my arm out like this, the muscle feels like it's trying to pull in. It's like an automatic, it's a feeling, it's hard to describe. I've never had it quite like that before. It doesn't hurt, but it's like a pull. It just like tries to pull the muscle back. So that's one thing I would have done differently, is stretch more, because I didn't stretch that much. After stretching it, the effect is much weaker and less concerning. It never bothered me too much. It was just weird. So I just kept going. But the soreness with the lats was quite harsh at some point. Like I was like, can I really do this? Can I keep doing this? And then there was also pain, slight pain on my forearms at some point, somewhere around the middle and day 20. It's like day 15 to day 22 or something. Like that week was very like, that was a struggle. I was not sure if I could finish the pull-ups. I was very, very cautious toward the last week as well, because the third week was so like, oh no, like I feel like I might actually fail or not complete all 30 days in a row. So I was very careful the last week. So I did a lot of sets of 5. But weirdly, the second to last day was a very good day for pull-ups, because I hit my new all-time max, which is 17 pull-ups in a row. And I was very, very happy about that. And I wasn't expecting it whatsoever. I was just doing pull-ups. I was like, gonna just do 10, because it's like, oh, it's not bad. And then I was like, oh, maybe I can do more, because there were some sets around day 15 where I did like 13 and 12. So I would do a set of 13 and then a set of 12 afterwards. And So I was like, okay, let's do 13. And then once I reached 13, I was like, I feel like I could still do more. So I just kept going until 17. And then I was like, I think I can do a few more, but I should probably not because it's the second last day to the challenge and I don't want to like hurt myself before finishing strong. You know what I mean? So in a way, to me, that was finishing strong because 17 pull-ups in a row, new record for me, completely new record. And they were good. They were good form. No kipping whatsoever. So I was very, very happy about that. And yeah, that's one thing. Like for form, I always try my best to just keep good form throughout all of it. Like I never cheated form. That was one thing. I feel like I can't cheat form. Like there's the way I do it, I've done it so many times already that cheating form takes more work than just doing it the right way, if that makes sense. It's like you just get used to doing it with good form, that doing it without good form just feels wrong. But you can be the judge of yourself. I'll probably show some clips eventually in the future or through a different video or the main video for sure. I'll show some clips of me doing pull-ups and push-ups so you can check my form if you want. But for me personally, I think it's good form. But anyways, I'm kind of all over the place. Not a good summary, but yeah, body feels good despite some minor injuries, very, very minor injuries, I feel. Very minor soreness. I mean, I guess you could say severe soreness at certain points because it did kind of feel painful to do the pull-ups at a certain point, but I kept doing them. Not the smartest move, honestly. I would not recommend this to anyone. I just did this for the sake of like doing it in a row, you know? Like if I were actually doing it to increase the amount of push-ups and pull-ups, I would do it completely differently. I would just max out push-ups and pull-ups way more often and have more rest days, which I think is going to be the next step for this series of push-ups and pull-ups because there's no point in doing it, in my opinion. I mean, there is a point of doing it. The point of doing it in a row was just to see if I can do it in a row, was just for myself and to show that I can be consistent with like something like very, very consistent. So there's no higher consistency than doing it every single day. And I think I proved to myself that I can. And now that I proved it to myself, like I'm happy and satisfied with that. So that was the point. And I think it's a very strong point because it was a struggle. It really was. And I think obviously if you did it with something that's very easy, then you're not going to feel that satisfaction with it, right? Like, for instance, something you already do, like brush your teeth every day. You're going to do it. Floss every day. That's so easy. Like, I know some people don't, but it's so easy. Those things, it's not that painful. But this was. So that's why, for me, I feel the satisfaction of having finished it 30 days in a row. But I think it's time to actually use that consistency that I built up, that I proved to myself that I have, for an actual goal. And for pull-ups, I'm gonna get 20 in a row, which honestly I might be able to do right now. I'm not gonna try because I want to give my body a little bit more rest because in the morning I did feel that and my lats were still sore. So I just want to give myself a little bit more rest, at least a day or two more before I start doing more push-ups and pull-ups. I mean, actually I did like a few push-ups here and there today and yesterday. So for push-ups, it was significantly easier. I think the number probably should have been higher, but I didn't want to change it like midway and sabotage my like goal, I guess, my consistent goal. But now I can change it up and just max out way more because I definitely held myself back for push-ups. So for push-ups, 100 in a row is still something I would like to try at. Like I actually don't care about it that much, but just to honor past me, like maybe I'll give it another shot. But at the end of the day, if I can do like 50 in a row, I've said this before, I'm happy with that. 50 in a row is pretty solid. But I'm pretty sure I could reach like 60 to 70 again since I've done it in the past. And I feel like with this level of consistency, like it's possible. So that might be the next 30-day challenge, is to just like reach new records, new maximums. If I can't reach 100 push-ups, maybe I can do 80. That would be like a pretty darn solid number to do in a row. But after doing that, this is way future planning, but like after doing that, maximums are not that important in my opinion. Working on skills or working on like perhaps more body related stuff, because I do feel like my body is quite skinny and I would like to just bulk up a little bit, get a bit leaner and whatnot. So that is another focus. So there's a lot of other things I can work on now that I've proven to myself that I have the consistency. That was very, very key to the beginning of this whole, like, I guess, I call this kinetic. Personally, I love that word. Kinetic sounds cool. Like, you can call it, it's obviously just exercise, right? But this is my kinetic routine. This is my kinetic goals. These are my kinetic goals. So I want to, this is like something that's a huge part of my life, basically. It's like something I do all the time. I've done it since I was a kid. I love push-ups. I enjoy pull-ups. It's weird to say, but like I did as a kid. My dad used to like just teach me how to do push-ups, so I just did it a lot. And then for like high school, I used to break dance, and college I used to dance, break dance as well, b-boying. And for recently, not recently, but like I guess before COVID hit, I did a lot of gymnastics as well. But these days after COVID, I've just been doing pure calisthenic stuff because I got used to it. But getting back into gymnastics, getting back into like a lot of the other kinetic stuff that I used to do, that would be a really, really fun thing. So, but I just wanted to do something I know like was a good challenge, but also pushing myself. Because I have done 100 push-ups and 30-day challenge with that, as well as with 30 pull-ups last year, and I thought it was like really, really good. Like it just felt good. Like I felt good, and I feel good again, except I may have felt bad sometimes because I pushed my body a little bit too hard. So, but either way, that is pretty much it. I am happy I finished the challenge. There's a lot that I learned from the challenge that I will put in the main video. This is sort of just for this, like my second channel, like I'm just going to post a lot of my thoughts, just raw thoughts, and leave them unfiltered, uncut, so that, you know, it's out there. It's harder to watch videos like these, obviously, because, you know, they're not cut out, they're not like succinct. There's no script to it, but I do enjoy just giving a free flow talk to the camera about my, just off the top of my head, the most important things that I experienced in this challenge. But yeah, that's basically it. There were some definitely hard days for sure, but overall we got it done. And yeah, there was no days that I did not get it done, basically. So I'm very, very, very glad about that. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that I'm leaving out. But yeah, for now I'm just gonna rest up. I think I've earned it. And if you guys have any questions regarding this challenge, perhaps don't do the 50 pull-up challenge for 30 days in a row. But if you guys have any questions about it, let me know, and I'll try to get to you in the comments down below. Catch you guys later.